Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. Today we would certainly be working on our emotional maturity. Now, I say those two words quite often on my channel. And for those of you who don't know what emotional maturity is, it is exactly the way that it sounds. The maturity of your emotions, okay? And on a more in-depth level, I'm talking about how you perceive things in life, how you approach things, how you process things in your mind. I want you guys to get as mature as possible in these areas because it's only going to benefit you all the way around in your life, in all areas, not just in relationships. Okay? So, in this audio, I really want to crack open the player's handbook here and just talk about three things that I want you guys to be aware of when we are talking about toxic people. All right? Because your emotional maturity will allow you to see something called angles. And I always say this to you guys. I want you to be able to see angles. I want you to be able to see angles. I'm constantly saying this because when you don't have that emotional maturity, your perceptions are very limited. Okay? You have a limited ability at that time to perceive angles outside of your own desires, wants, and needs. All right? So if you're just only stuck on your own desires, wants, and needs and perceiving things that way, you're not going to, unless that other person wants exactly what you want, chances are you're going to miss all of the signs and signals that they are giving you to their wants and desires and needs. Okay? And if you're not able to tap into that with other people around you, this is how we get blindsided. This is how we end up with people who don't actually authentically or sincerely care for us because we're not picking that up. Okay? So I want to clarify some things in this video and just give you some things to think of as far as seeing angles as to why something may or may not be happening for you in regards to a relationship. Okay? So the first thing that I have on here is, and this is again all about understanding their mentalities, okay? Because you have to know who you're dealing with or who you could possibly be dealing with, right? Or just even understanding this angle may actually give you clarity on things that didn't make sense to you before. So sometimes you guys may wonder, why isn't this person helping me? Why? Why isn't this person being supportive of me that you would think would be? You know, a family member, a supposed friend, a romantic partner, a spouse, a child, anyone, you know, that you thought would be supportive of you. And you can even take this to the workplace. Okay. Why isn't this person being supportive of you? Well, in the player's handbook and with toxic people, their mentality is, I'm only going to help people I can control. So if the person doesn't feel like they can control you, they're not going to help you. So why? Let's think about that. Well, if I'm helping you, I'm increasing you. I'm making you more powerful. But if I'm making you more powerful, the manipulative toxic person is going to think, they might become more powerful than me, and then I won't have any control over them, and then my agendas won't be getting filled at that point. You see where I'm going with that? So some people haven't helped you in your life. Your parents, yeah, it could even be your parents, because they can't control you. They're like, well, I don't want this person to be more powerful than me. Or if I increase them, my agendas won't be able to play out through this person because I don't have control, or I won't have control, or they fear of losing control. So then the help doesn't come. Okay? Because, you know, we hear those sayings all the time. You know, the typical ignorant person, they don't want to see you doing quote unquote better than them. That's a perception. You're doing better than me. But we all have our pathways. We all have our goals. We all have our gifts, and we all have our seasons. That's what an illuminated person will know. But someone in that low vibration, they don't want to see you doing better anyway. All right, so I know this could be very frustrating, especially for some survivors who have been the sacrificial lamb, and who have given and given and given, and then they call in a favor in their time of need, or they call in a favor because they need it, and then that person drops the ball, or that person doesn't step up for you when they are seemingly really in the place of doing it, capable of being able to do it, and just choosing not to do it. Okay? A lot of times, like I'm saying, they will only help those that they can control. All right, so let's relate this to narcissistic abuse. Let's put this in a co-parenting situation. The narcissist, you're not their supply anymore per se, but you still have their child and you want financial support. They're not controlling you anymore. They're not feeling like they're getting anything out of that. Bam. That's why they're not going to help you. Along with a whole bunch of plethora of other, things. The list goes on, of course, but just stemming from this right here. So their mentality, only help those you can control. Okay? And that's why you hear in the entertainment business, oh, they're just a puppet. They're just a puppet. But they're getting helped material-wise. They're acquiring money, but that's because someone can control them. But then you see some artists who actually have really good work, and they may not acquire, or they may be, people will call it underrated, or they're not achieving that success because they're not able to be as controlled or controlled at all. And there's a backlash for that. So, just to put it in some other perspectives here. Sometimes, and definitely when we're talking about the manipulative people in a toxic sense, okay? Only help those you can control, all right? So I wanted to point that one out. Here is another area, and this is really important, survivors, for your emotional maturity. And, this is also pertaining to wearing those rosy colored glasses. They will, a manipulative, or the player's handbook will say, gain trust by appearing to be helpful, appearing to be useful, appearing to come to the rescue. So the key word in that whole phrase is to appear. And if something appears a certain way, does it mean that that's a fact? Does it mean that it actually happened and was in fact the case? No, it doesn't. It appeared that way, but it really wasn't in reality. It really wasn't in reality. So if we really want to put this in figurative language, well, the narcissist appeared to love you, right? In a love bomb phase, they appeared it to gain your trust. Okay? Or, taking credit for somebody else's work would be another instances where someone is appearing to be helpful and useful, appearing to come to the rescue for the company, but they took somebody else's work. Plagiarizing, for instance, somebody else's idea. Appearing to want to help you during an emergency situation, but never actually following through. But making it appear as though they're trying really hard and they actually really aren't. And they're trying to sabotage you. So you really have to gauge with people. Are they just trying to appear to be a certain way? Or are they actually doing these things, okay? So basically, you're not falling for appearances, okay? Because that's kind of simple-minded. I don't want you guys to just fall for appearances. You can't just believe everything you're told, for instance. Just because it was on the news doesn't mean it's the truth, for instance. It may have appeared that way. All right? So that would be you. And this whole video, is about increasing our critical thinking here, our critical thinking skills. And that's going to be very important when increasing our emotional maturity. All right? So let's really expand our minds. And again, yet again, being able to see the angles. All right, so let's talk about the last thing that I have on my list for this audio and diving into the player's handbook or this toxic person that's manipulative. Always have an exit strategy and always have a plan B. And this is why, that narcissist cannot be faithful to you. I mean, they're not even faithful to themselves. That's another video. But, this is why they're not being faithful. So what does that mean? That means when this player meets you, they already know, they have it set in their mind what they want to do with you, what they want out of you, and therefore they know, when they'll be done, theoretically, or, approximately. And because they're playing you, they have to have a backup just in case something falls through. And this is why there's always a need for another supply. Another reason why. There's other reasons, of course. But just drawing off of this topic right here. So always have an exit strategy and a plan B. And then that's why how did they just move on? Like he already knew, or she already knew she just wanted this from you. And that they were going to just jump back with this other person. It's some things they just already, it's premeditated, if you will. All right. Premeditated, guys. So I want you guys to understand that sometimes that help doesn't come because, in a player handbook and with a toxic person, they're only going to help those they can control. All right. And what is the next thing? They're going to gain trust by appearing to be helpful, appearing to be useful, appearing to be coming to the rescue. But then you'll realize that they're fake. It's another way of figuring out who's fake. Okay. And then lastly, they're always going to have an exit strategy. They're always going to have a plan B. Because they're trying to secure the supply. They're trying to secure what they're getting to. And what's the best way to secure it? Have many ways to get to it. Okay, if I ain't going through the window, I'm going through the door. I'm coming through the chimney, coming through the back door, etc., etc. Okay, guys? So I hope that this video is helping you guys with your emotional maturity, helping you to see angles, because too many times people try to look at situations just from their own point of view. It is a skill, a very valuable skill to be able to put yourself in other people's shoes, to be able to see those angles, guys. All right. So if this video resonates with you, go ahead and hit the like button. If you haven't done so, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. Over 400 videos here to help you increase your emotional maturity, to help you understand narcissistic abuse, to help you understand the toxic relationships, to help you understand psychology better. All right. To help you with your shadow work with yourself and improving yourself. And so much more, guys. All right. If you are struggling in your life to increase your emotional maturity, to heal from a toxic situation, to heal your inner childhood wounds, to, really get in a place of being thriving in your life. If you feel like your eyes are just shut and you're trying to get them open, you're trying to get more pearls, you're trying to get more knowledge, you're trying to illuminate yourself, trying to set some goals, trying to get balanced in your life. If you need help with these things, I do offer coaching. All right. I do this over the phone. I do voice calls. I do Skype. I do FaceTimes. I have texting packages, like all types of things to help you out. All right. I have written 4 therapeutic books. They're available through my website. They're available on Amazon. They're available on barnesandnobles.com. They're available on Create Space. Additional pearls of wisdom to help you increase your emotional maturity and heal from a toxic relationship. All right. I have the support group on Facebook, guys. Lakia Reflection and Progression Crawford. Inbox me. Please let me know that you're a survivor, or else, I have to have a way of, sifting through these requests, because I really want it to be survivors. All right. With that being said, guys, on my website, I do have No Narc Zone merchandise. Feel free to check that out. The channel does accept donations. That information is down in the description if this channel has blessed you. And with that being said, guys, please continue to do the work. Thank you for all your support to the channel. Great ways to support the channel is always to like the videos, to share the videos, leave comments. It does help YouTube's algorithm push the information out. We know emotional maturity is not taught in schools. People really need to understand this information when dealing with other human beings in life. It could save you a lot of heartache and confusion. All right. And with that being said, guys, please take care. Until next time.